Hello and welcome back to the channel. We are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac season 10 episode 2, and I already have Potomac fatigue. Yup, I already have Potomac fatigue. Usually this happens like halfway through the season because these women really know how to hold on to things and just like beat a dead horse. But the discourse around Wendy and Eddie being arrested has been really exhausting, especially because we haven't heard anything yet. They haven't even made a statement yet. Well, they did through their representative, but like that's it. And it was the most generic statement. Also, if you listen to my last podcast episode, which if you're watching, well, you are watching this on YouTube, is right underneath this one. Thank you so much. It's my most watched video on here. I'm really happy y'all were enjoying it. If you weren't enjoying it, I'm sorry, but still thanks for watching. But let's go ahead and get into it. Ashley Darby is very annoying. Like, she's usually annoying. I can tell y'all, I don't think we've covered Potomac on this page before. I find Ashley Darby to be one of the most annoying, unnecessary housewives we have. Megan, my partner, watched Love Hotel, and I was like, I can't even deal with Ashley on here. I really cannot, because oh my God. I understand, and I think I said this last week, like I can get where these women come and tell the semi-truth about their lives, so where they might be annoyed that Stacey is not telling the truth. However, Ashley yelling, screaming, causing a scene in her event because Stacey may or may not be divorced is weird. And like I like to say in the semi-words of Nene, oh, I know that dress ain't got you feeling like that. Ashley, I know that divorce from Gollum ain't got you feeling like that. Okay? Congratulations, whoop-de-doo, you finally divorced the shittiest man, one of the shittiest men we have ever seen on our television screens. That does not absolve you from everything. And that goes for her judgment towards Wendy too, because while she is up at that jazz club, piercing the ears of everybody, talking about we're singing melodies, not felonies. That doesn't even make sense. That isn't, you don't sing a felony, but whatever, okay? Why are you, like, what is up with all this? I told you so, I knew, but like, you and Wendy kind of get along. I mean, you're at least decent co-workers. So what is all this? Oh, I told you so. She's got this air, this attitude of her. Congratulations, you finally divorced Michael. But that doesn't mean that you didn't stick by his side while he was accused of assault of your co-worker, mind you, while he was accused of a lot of heinous things. So pipe down. Pipe the fuck down. Oh my God. Her saying things like, principle means a lot to me. Again, you were married to Michael Darby. Enough with the charade. No one forced you to be married to him, mind you. And listen, I hear where people are coming from when they're like, Stacey lies, and at the end of the day, everybody likes a liar at first and then they become a problem. I think Stacey might be the funniest housewife to have ever been on Potomac. I really do. I started laughing out loud on the treadmill when she was like, I am Nigerian as well. My sister. Girl, what? I'm sorry, Stacey, the 23andMe that you probably took is not the same type of Nigerian that Wendy and Tia are, okay? Us Black Americans, obviously, we got to find out where we came from. Well, we don't have to, but we want to for obvious reasons. But you are not Nigerian in the same way that Tia and Wendy are. Please. Speaking of Tia, I will say, I am enjoying Tia. It could be the English accent. It could be, I'm a sucker for it. Bullocks, okay? Hi, God. I just love her. I love her so far. I also like Angel as well. I will say that. And while we're moving along with everything else, we are still at the NAACP luncheon with Kiarna. And Kiarna, please drop this. Like Wendy said, I'm fine. I'm fine with Kiarna. And she being Kiarna, did herself no favors by having that little sit down with Giselle and letting Giselle get all messy up in her business, because Wendy sat there and said, me and Kay are fine. I'm fine. And Kay's like, oh, she's passive aggressive. But then when it came to her friend of 20 years, Angel, and Giselle said, and how are you two? Angel said, I'm fine. We're fine. She did the same thing that Wendy said. So now Kay is drawing a pattern of having issues with people and they don't have issues with her. Reaching. That's what it's giving. And before anybody starts, Kiarna is not mad at Wendy because she thinks she stole something from her. She's not. All right. Everybody with the talking about Wendy and trying to draw everything back to her possibly defrauding an insurance company. No, that's not why you didn't like her in the first place. That's not why you have a problem with her. If you want to say, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody else, all of them do. All of them do in some way, shape, or form. Okay. I mean, my God today. Now, Ashley wants to sit here and grill Stacey about whether she is or is not divorced. But then last season at the end, we ended it with her in little mini Jack Harlow. We know she went on Love Hotel and chased that old white man around that island. Very embarrassing behavior. And then you're back with Jack Harlow trying to talk down to him. Trying to tell him he needs to get the hair gel together. Ashley's fucking wig at Tally Ho was raised 2 inches off of her head. Again, I know that divorce settlement ain't got you feeling like that. Okay? Please be serious. You knew what you getting in with that young man. And if you want to talk about playing, you want to talk about men for hire, I think you know that you can call up little baby Jack Harlow and he will be like, oh yeah, I'll come film. So, and apparently I didn't watch Real Housewives. I didn't watch What Happens Live last night, but I guess Jeff Lewis kind of explained what could be the situation with Stacey and being like, oh, I'll throw him some money because he said that he would throw people some money. I don't know. I need to go back and watch it, but that's just what I took away from that. Now, the women went to Tally Ho and had lunch or breakfast, whichever, with Cookie, who is Karen's friend, who she sent to represent her. And listen, Cookie was a good representative, okay? Because she already knew. She knew how to read Giselle like a book. Karen prepped her well. And I don't blame Karen for that, okay? I do not blame her whatsoever. Then at the end, we had that little piece of Stacey apparently trying to get with Chris Samuels. And that's how we're going to usher in Monique. Do I care? No, not really. Monique and Chris are divorced, and we're not going to find out why they're divorced because Monique had the freaking divorce documents sealed shut, and Monique is not good at being on reality TV. She's really not. And I'm not talking about just Real Housewives of Potomac. She tried to leave Real Housewives of Potomac and scurry on over to Carlos King, Love and Marriage DC, and act like it was all Bravo and Andy's fault, but really it's hers. She's not good at being on reality TV. She needs a YouTube channel. She might have one, but that's what we're gonna get to see in. But as far as this episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, that's all I have. Like I said, there's really no more development in the Wendy and Eddie situation. I don't know. I don't know. I think that Eddie should take the blame for everything so Wendy can stay with the kids. No, I'm kidding. I will say, I saw a theory on TikTok, and I think this girl was a lawyer, but I didn't see any of her credentials. I didn't see her bar exam results, right? But she was questioning if at the time of the robbery, if Wendy and Eddie were experiencing like some sort of separation, because to her, it makes no sense that two married people who live together and just went on vacation together with their kids would email this stuff to one another. She was saying certain things are not adding up. And she was also saying that it was possible to her, she could see that if Eddie was doing this and was like, oh, I'll take care of this, and emailed Wendy just to like implicate her. Now, I can't see that. Why would your husband do that to you? But she also brought up that last season, I forgot about this, Wendy said, I don't even know how the mortgage is paid. Like, I don't do any of that. Eddie takes care of that. So I was like, ooh, I forgot that they had that conversation. Because we all were like, Wendy, really? You don't know how the mortgage is paid. That's not smart. And you're a smart lady, okay? But she's also a traditional, ish woman, whatever that means. Wants the man to pay for everything, okay? Whatever. So, well, I don't know, child. We'll see. There are some people who think that we're never going to see Wendy again. I hope not. Like, I hope that that's not how that happens. But I I don't know. Y'all don't forget to drop down in the comments. Let me know how you are feeling about this episode, how you are feeling about the news. And let me tell you this. If you have a dissertation about why Wendy is so wrong and she's the stupidest person to ever be on Housewives and you always knew that she was the worst, blah, blah, save that. Save that. Okay, I don't need to see that. It's tired. All right, it's tired. There's a whole conversation that could be had about the haves and have-nots and what these women, not just Wendy, what these women do to keep up with the Joneses. She's not the only one. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, clutch my pearls at her for, you know, doing shit that I think a couple other housewives have done. But thank you so much for watching. We'll be back later this week, of course, to talk about any and everything else. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.